He is in the Oval Office. He is the president, John. I mean, should be. Who cares a damn what you think should or shouldn't happen for an election that's already been decided? This is
inept,
performative on your part.
Inept. He's ignorant. He's a clown. He has no business running any.
I'm not going to engage that argument. You have not responded to what I'm saying. The person who should be president is the one who gets the votes.
It's more complicated than that these days, Glenn.
You, and especially John, swallowed the mainstream media narrative on January 6th, 2021. In reality, the experience of the vast majority of people who went there, and I know some of them, is nothing like that narrative. Yet many got sent to jail, and some committed suicide in one of the worst injustices in recent history that needs to be corrected. Please respond to this video segment, and he links to a Jordan Peterson interview with one Dr. Simone Gold, who describes her experience of January 6th. And I did actually, George Lee, look at the video, and it is chilling, where a woman basically says, I was there because, we had gathered in Washington to express our views. I was going to be giving a speech. I was on the steps of the Capitol as people arrived from the rally that Trump had been speaking at and had come to the Capitol to protest. And I got swept into the building. The doors opened, the crowd surged forward. Next thing I know, I found myself in the building, but I didn't do anything except, get swept along with the crowd. And then she goes on and describes in detail the aftermath of that, which was apparently she got identified by photographic evidence. The FBI raided her house. She was arrested and whatnot, and she didn't do anything except be there and be swept along by the crowd. So George Lee's question is, you, especially John, swallowed, but I'm accused of the same thing, the mainstream media narrative of January 6th, which I assume is a bunch of rioters who created an insurrection. And in reality, the experience of the vast majority of people who went there, I just a quote again from George Lee's question, and I know some of them, he says, is nothing like that narrative. Do you think, John, that we have drunk Kool-Aid, so to speak, about January 6th and by the insurrection narrative when it's really much more complicated than that? And for a lot of the people who suffered significant consequences in their lives, they didn't do anything wrong. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's fine. I'm not saying that I approve of it. That may be true. That's what happens with mobs. I'm not saying that woman should have been arrested, but there was a core of people at that episode who were mobbing the Capitol, and there's no doubt about it, and it was absolutely reprehensible. The media is not pulling the wool over our eyes and not mentioning that there were some people who were physically swept up and ended up being mistreated by justice just by association. That's not fair. That ruins lives. I completely understand that. But that does not mean that the media has been wrong in portraying what happened that day as an insurrection. A significant and critical mass of those people were involved in doing exactly what we know they all did. I cannot imagine why we would want to hem and haw and hedge about it to the point that we don't really say anything about it, which would essentially be to pardon it. It wasn't okay, just like Trump isn't okay. That's
not just like, they're not just like, or maybe they are for you. Maybe they are for you. Trump got elected, John. Did you check that out? The very thing that causes you to say January 6th was a barbarity, which is an effort to use extra.
And yes, audience, I did mean what I just
said.
I did mean what I just said. It was a mistake. Continue, Glenn.
Yeah. Oh, you did not mean what you just said. It was a mistake. Is that what you said?
I just said that, and you were talking too. And I just don't want there to be any question. I don't want anybody writing in and saying, did you hear what John said? I did say it. It was a mistake. He should not be president. Glenn, continue.
Whose mistake, John?
He's a stand-up comedian. He's utterly inept. He's more than proving it now. That person should not be president. The people who have voted for him either were expecting something different from him,
But
or
what
they
is the should? What's the ground for the should? I mean, you say you get to say who should be and shouldn't be president. I thought that was apropos of the revulsion at January 6th, a decision for the voters, not for the commentators ex post facto to assert their judgment over that of the people.
Glenn, do you think that it's appropriate that that man is president, given his actions lately, for example, not to mention the way he acted on the trail?
This is like asking me who won the 2020 election, Donald Trump or Joe Biden, and I'm an election denier if I say Joe Biden didn't win the election. No, Joe Biden won that election in 2020, and Donald Trump won the election in 2024, and therefore, I think, yes, it's entirely appropriate that he's president. He's the one who won the election. What am I missing, John?
I find that too clinical, especially in the era of social media. That man has what is the expression? He has his the kit, the nuclear war kit. He can
football,
decide.
They call it the football.
Yeah, that man has the football. This isn't right. This is not right. Something went wrong. It went wrong in 2016, and it went wrong this time. And I can imagine how it feels for a Trump voter to listen to somebody like me saying it. But that man should not be in the Oval Office.
But he is in the Oval Office. He is the president, John. I mean, should be. Who cares a damn what you think should or shouldn't happen for an election that's already been decided? This is inept, performative on your part.
Inept. He's ignorant. He's a clown. He has no business running any.
I'm not going to engage that argument. You have not responded to what I'm saying. The person who should be president is the one who gets the votes.
It's more complicated than that these days, Glenn. The way you're using the word should, I think, is a little too general. Of course, he is legitimately the president of the United States. But in terms of whether that's a good thing or not.
Okay, well, that's a subjective call and people are going to differ on it. And you and I do, as a matter of fact, differ on that. But he is the most powerful man on the planet.
Which is a human tragedy.
Okay, let's move on. With respect, I mean, what? We're not going to accomplish anything here by relitigating the same old argument.
History will agree.
You show contempt for the people, John.
I'm sorry, but I think that the people who voted for him made a mistake, just like I made a mistake.